This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I are talking about trips to Westmont, to Beverly. We're getting on a yacht, and we're drinking some Crispy Boy from Alarmist. All that and more on this week's episode. What did we do these last 3 weeks, Zoe? What'd you make it to?
Yeah, because, you get a cork popped out, boop, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it. The legend, Mr. Pete Crowley. I love Pete Crowley, man.
How's that beer? It's what you think it is.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And we are continuing our no haze train on the podcast here.
We got some good rhythm, man. And this is a pilsner that's not like the big Imperial Pilsner. 4.9%, man.
It's easy drinking. Alarmist Crispy Boy.
Tall boy 4-packs.
Yeah. It was, extremely hot. It's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
But over the weekend, this beer was tasting right.
Yeah.
It's definitely what you want when it's 100 degrees out, middle of summer. You want a Pilsner.
It's beer-flavored beer. You don't have to drink about it. Drink about it. or think about it,
And then we're drinking out of our Afro Beer Chick mugs or glasses here.
Yeah, man. Cheers to Shalonda from AfroBeerChick.com. She's got a shoppy with stemless wine glasses in there. So we're sipping out of those, man. Yeah. Second run of these Afro Beer Chick fancy cups.
Nice, that's pretty awesome. We need to get our shoppy.
Man, we need a shoppy.
A pop-up shoppy.
Pop-up Beer Pass pop-up shoppy.
Oh. All right, I'm sure we'll crush these cans here, no problem, throughout this episode, because we got a lot of stops to talk about.
Brad, you were getting after it, man.
Yeah,
making this city proud.
I did the
Loose
impossible this weekend. Let me start with I went out to Westmont.
Yeah.
And I went to Scallywag.
So this is West Burbs. Yeah, I don't know much about Westmont or Scallywag.
So Westmont is just, where the Oak Brook Mall is?
I do.
Right off of there. Westmont is just a little bit, I don't know, is that south of Oak Brook?
Yeah, I think you're right. Westbrook Mall is one of those Oak Brook Mall is one of those strange outdoor malls, right? Yeah.
But you can also, Scallywag is like right off the train, off the Westmont train. So you could like get off in little downtown Westmont that's, a street and 5 shops kind of thing. Chinese restaurant, brewery, they got everything you need. So we drove out there though. We didn't take the train, and we hit up Scallywag. I got their ESB, and then I had to get a little sample of their black ale that was on nitro.
You got your
in honor of Nick.
you got a black ale on nitro.
Yeah, both of them are pretty good. Nothing like I haven't heard of Scallywag. The beers were pretty good. They weren't like gonna blow me away, but they were pretty solid.
They were decent.
Yeah.
Scallywag Productions with a K.
Yeah.
Is Mark Scala's video company. That's his last name. Yeah. But this is Scally, like Scallywag.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you like the space?
Yeah, the space is nice. It's very like classic kind of brew pub. It's almost like brew pub / coffee shop kind of vibe.
Okay.
There's like some low seating with tables and then high tops, and so it just seemed like a community kind of spot. Like if you lived over there, it's great.
This is your jam.
Yeah, like because the beers were good. But you don't need to drive maybe 30 minutes to go get it. But if you're over here, it's good.
That's cool, man. Beer's starting to dot in these little areas that there's no dots.
Yeah. And then right down the road, Whiskey Hill.
Whiskey Hill. I was reading about the Whiskey Hill boys and how they want to move into. There was going to be a Rogers Park brewery on Howard.
Okay.
And now that same spot is like, well, Whiskey Hill's coming instead.
Oh.
So I thought that was interesting. Like it sounds like a satellite office. A satellite office, like a satellite tap room where they wouldn't brew.
They're not gonna brew. They're just gonna kind of sell and maybe serve some of their beer.
Yeah, because that space has to be a brewery because it's zoned for that. And the Rogers Park boys don't have their thing together.
Okay.
The Rogers Park Brewery. Yeah.
Interesting. Whiskey Hill is in your classic, I don't know, industrial park. You go down there.
Yeah.
It's right next to like a body repair shop, so there are like tons of cars, and you're like, what is happening over here? It's like so much stuff parked. That place is tiny.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Is the artist formerly known as Myths and Legends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we shot what did we do? We shot a video Beer Geeks pod out there once. I just remember it being real hot. I don't remember much about it. It's hot and little. Okay. I don't remember much about what we had.
It wasn't hot.
Okay.
Still little.
Still little.
Yeah.
All right.
I just got one beer because I was driving. I think I got like a pale ale or something. Nothing fancy. They had some like big stouts, some milkshake things. It was also that Saturday when it was still pretty hot. So I was like, I'm just good with like ESB, pale ale kind of thing. Like I don't want to mess around with no milkshake lactose thing right now.
And plus, I don't know you, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't, yeah.
If you can't do your Pilsner or your like pale ale right, what am I doing here?
Well, that's what John the Color's dad. He was at half acre. Like I'm getting the lager. If you say you can draw, then draw me a fucking horse. draw me a horse. I'm like, all right, man, that's cool.
Whiskey Hill is farther from the train, so if you were to take the train, that would be a hike to get over to Whiskey Hill. Like it would just be It would be a good walk. Like you're better off just going to Scallywag and calling it a day. Like have a few beers there, or wait the hour for the next train, and then bounce back home.
Yeah, before they were called Whiskey Hill. Before that, Urban Legends, and then before that, no, it was Myths and Legends. Then before that, it was Urban. This is their third name change.
Oh, it was Urban Legends.
They were Urban Legends.
Oh, I remember Urban Legends for a minute.
There was a Louis Glunz, the distributor. There was a showcase of their beers, like a fall showcase or something. I remember Urban Legend being there. Yeah. So
I don't understand. I didn't look this up.
Yeah.
There's no signage. I don't know why it's called Whiskey Hill.
I mean, I like whiskey, man.
I like whiskey. There's no hills.
I'm working on this Knob Creek piece, man. And I'm like, dude, whiskey's my jam, man. So
you're working on a bottle of Knob Creek.
We're calling it a story. We really just got the computer off and fucking
drinking this whiskey.
Like it's sipping fucking castrate rye whiskey. That's what that is. But yeah, man, I'm with you, man. Like, what's going on, man? Don't just be calling this shit Whiskey Hill, man. Or what, like, I don't know. I'm starting to get frustrated.
I just was like, what's the deal here? But,
do you have whiskey?
Yeah.
I guess that's really all I'm asking. Like, do you have whiskey Hill?
It didn't seem like it.
You know what? You're pissing me off, Whiskey Hill, with this bullshit.
But yeah, beer was again pretty good, but I can't even remember what it was, so it wasn't like I wasn't blown away. If I was to go out there and I had to pick the two, I'd probably go to Scallywag just because it's a little bigger. Mm-hmm. The downtown area is cute.
Yeah,
if you're going with someone else, so
it's like it's a better hang overall. All the things that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we were neither of these places have food. Scallywag has like some chips and pretzels kind of thing.
Now I forgot. Are you still in Westmont? So
still in Westmont.
Okay. Westmont's got two breweries.
Yeah, I know.
How about that?
So we grabbed
Rogers Park, 0 breweries. Westmont 2.
We hit up one of the few taco places out there, and so grabbed some tacos for the road. And then we went across the state up to Rainbow Cone.
Oh, dude, you're in you're on Southwestern Avenue.
Yeah. So Westmont. So what's that? Like Oak Lawn, Beverly.
Beverly, that's what it is. Beverly, yeah, Beverly, Chicago, man. That's like the edge. That's the edge of town, man.
It's it was hot Saturday, so we're like, what are we doing? And it's like Rainbow Cone. I've never had it.
Never had the Rainbow Cone.
So it's like today's the day. I was with Maeve, and today was the day, or that was the day.
You went to Rainbow Cone, man.
Right, but Westmont to Beverly is not. It's a weird drive.
But I was thinking about this because the last episode we were talking about Green Bay Road and riding a bike. I'm like, Brad, man, he's like, Brad likes the outdoors, man. Brad likes to get out and go, right? Like, that's him.
But I would have just went to probably these two breweries if I was by myself. Mm-hmm. But Maeve wanted to come along, and I wanted her to come with. So, yeah, Rainbow Cone. Rainbow Cone is as delicious as I thought it might be.
You got the five flavors.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Rainbow Cone was better
Yeah.
than the two beers I had. Like
Right on.
It had everything you wanted.
Sounds nice, man. Now you can go waffle. You can go the traditional.
We went medium waffle.
Right on.
When we shared that, it was perfect for, it was melting fast, so I couldn't even imagine like one person trying to go after it. It was just too hot, and we're standing outside trying to eat a ice cream cone, dripping all over the place.
I haven't been all year. You're making me want one, man.
It was good. First time. And then I'm like, you know what? Open Outcry.
I mean, you're already there.
Is like here.
You're already there.
I can't. I think I said last week, I say, you know what? I'm gonna go to Open Outcry, and then I never do it. If I didn't do it when we were like down the street,
then you would never go. It would be like the beer town.
Exactly.
You just it would be right down the street, and you would never ever go.
So we went. That place is amazing. Like
it's laid out, right? That place is laid out, man.
If anyone has ever been to like Portland, any of those brew pubs, it has a Portland brew pub vibe.
Right on.
Big windows. They're also garage door, so they had them open. It just feels very welcoming, and people are just hanging out. Lots of families. It's on this like main street, so it's not like a downtown kind of like Westmont where it's kind of sleepy downtown, where old downtown. This is just a main street, and it's a big ass brewery right there.
And they have Mr. Will Turner with one L,
Yeah.
and pockets full of beef jerky, running the show.
We sat inside because I didn't realize the upstairs was open. Which the upstairs is really just the roof.
Right.
Should have sat out on the roof, but
I got on the roof, man.
I should have. I didn't. First time there,
That's like me, man. I went to Eris and I never went inside. Now you gotta go back.
We got some food, which that's not really a food truck inside this place. This is this is a building. This is a second building that happens to have a window in the brew pub.
Right.
In the brewery.
It's a strange setup. And then it's like, I don't know, when I went and I couldn't get like, all right, cool, tab at the bar. Cool, just put my food on the tab. They're like, nah, that's a different tab.
Okay, see, I got food. I paid for it. We had a waitress and paid for it at the end. So there was no like, I got to close one out. It was like, okay, we're already done. Had a couple of Will's beers. I think I had, I want to say ESB, but then I also got this Ghost Pepper New England IPA.
Yeah, I'm checking that out now.
Which I like to try spicy beers. I don't like them, but I like to try them. And I asked for like a small one. They're small as a 10-ounce pour.
Ghost Pepper. That's like, there's habanero, then Ghost. That's right. That's the order.
It was good, but I left. The picture was almost what I left. Like I was like, I don't want a spicy beer. There's a lot of people that like spicy beers.
Yeah,
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, I remember Stone had a pairing called like Pain and Punishment, and they were these really violently spicy beers.
Yeah,
I was like, this is cool and the artwork's cool, but dude, I couldn't drink 12 ounces of this. Like, will not.
It's neat to try.
Yeah, you do want to try it though. You want to know what's going on.
Like beer fest kind of thing. Like, oh, let me try that Ghost Pepper beer. Damn, that's spicy.
Yeah.
What did I expect?
That hurt, but I like it.
Don't give me 10 ounces of this. But some people love it.
Right on.
And that's fine. And I think the New England kind of style works well because it has that sweetness to kind of balance it out. So that's cool.
Right on.
But yeah, that space is awesome. It makes me want to go. Now that I've been, I'm like, man, this is great. And I could see myself going back there again.
For sure. The rumor is that they're putting in a bid across the street.
What, at that Chinese restaurant?
Right, like that little strip mall right there. Like that little strip mall is like up for sale, and I think there's a bid on it. That's the story out here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they might expand and just like have like a full on party space across the street.
I had some guy came in, and he was like, "Oh, I'm from out of town," and my sister-in-law told me to go to this Chinese restaurant, but I should have came here. And he's like, "Can you take a picture of me here?" I was like, "Okay." And then Maeve and I were like, "What is the see-through Chinese?" And we looked it up. Like, one of the first pictures is a picture of like beans and rice.
This is not a destination, sir. I don't know why your family doesn't like you.
What was amazing is Open Outcry across the street is a Chinese restaurant. Scallywag across the street is a Chinese restaurant.
You know, you talked about Portland. I know in Portland there is a joint that is a Chinese restaurant and a brewery, right? There is a joint like that in Portland. So that's if they move in across the street, they need to have
Chinese.
They need to have Chinese on deck. Yeah, there needs to be. Yeah.
That's cool. But Open Outcry, definitely go to it. We didn't go to Horse Thief Hollow, which is right down the street, but we can't do them all.
At some point, you got to go home.
Yeah. And that's how.
Well, you left a little meat on the bone for your next trip to Beverly. You know, right on. That's a good run though.
So that was a good Saturday.
Westmont to Beverly.
Yeah.
Man. Brad was out here, man. Yeah.
But you got after a couple events.
Yeah, man. Back to back, little Sunday fun day action, man. I went to the Wet Hot American Cider. Last time this was at not Emporium, but the other one, headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was River North. That's the only location left for headquarters.
This was on Sunday, right?
This was on Sunday. That's where I started. And then, yeah, this was all cider and like cider and apple activities. So,
oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, I'm in here smashing the apples. I'm like, what do I get if I, take a fish hook and catch some apples? Like, oh, you get some sunglasses. All right. What do I get if I smash the apples? Like, you get nothing. You get the satisfaction of smashing apples. I'm like, let me smash these apples. No, you put it on. You put on
apron,
protective gear, boom, and that dude is like, yeah, I'm feeling great smashing these apples, man. But the coolest part was I got to see Cider Brian. Shout out to Cider Brian from Uncle John's. So Cider Brian, when I met him, I think he was he was working at another cidery. Oh, but he ended up managing the Northman for a little bit. Known him for a while. It was just good to see him. He's the only person I knew there, really.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he showed me these bottles from like the 1800s, like these big glass jugs that Uncle John's cider used to be in. And, their cider's like a dry, like semi-sweet dry cider, right? The first cider I had was on nitro, totally roasted on nitro from the good folks at Vandermill.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I haven't had a Vandermill cider in a long time.
Yeah, he's like, we put this on nitro. We usually don't do this. I'm like, I'm in. Yeah. Oh, dude, I want a sweet hoodie from fucking headquarters, man. They got this William Tell thing where you're like, all right, you shoot an apple off the dummy's head.
Yeah.
And you get the
bow and arrow?
Bow and arrow, man.
Crossbow.
Crossbow, man.
Crossbow or bow and arrow? What'd you do?
Which one's crossbow?
Crossbow looks more like a gun.
This was crossbow.
Okay.
Yeah, this was not bow and arrow, so crossbow. Yeah. So, this dude, he was with his girl, and he just won. I was gonna play Mortal Kombat. I'm looking over. I'm like, he won the hoodie. I'm like, dude, you won the hoodie? How many did it take? He's like, I took 4.
Yeah.
And then he's like, listen, man, what you want to do, all right, is aim for the neck, right? He's like, you want to do is aim for the neck. He's like, you got this. And then I'm like, all right, cool. So he's coaching me through it. And I'm like, dude, like 5 shots in, I'm like, dude, I catch this man.
What, do they let you go as many times as you want?
All right, so when you walk in, you get like 8 tickets.
Yeah.
And the tickets are either for a cider or for an activity, right? Yeah, bobbing for apples or whatever. Yeah. So basically, I got 2 ciders. I spent the rest of my time trying to shoot this bow, trying to shoot this apple.
That's a fun way to do it versus like kind of unlimited drinks and then some non-activities.
Yeah.
So you get to have activities or drinks and get to pick. Cool.
And it was cider. And it was at an arcade, so there's like they got these basketball hoops, not like the pop and shot. It's a pop and shot concept, but it's a full size basketball and these are Chicago Bulls hoops, right? And so the whole thing's bigger. But they said that they got these at Emporium too now, so they're making the rounds. They're at all the arcades now, so that's cool. Pinball.
Yeah.
What else? That's all I remember, man. That's a good Sunday, man. That's a good way to start your Sunday. Because, Sundays, you don't hang out all at one. You don't hang out at one joint on Sundays. Sundays, you hit a few things.
Okay, yeah.
So that was a good way to start.
Nice, yeah. I missed out on this. I was getting dinner with my dad, so.
Equally important.
Couldn't do it.
I'm going to go with more important on that one.
Yeah, that was out at Oakbrook. I messed up and was like back out there.
Oh, so you didn't do it all on the same day as the Westmont stuff?
That was, yeah.
Oh, because that's right. Those are different days.
I should have planned this better. Nice. And then you also made it to the Argus that's not in the book.
Argus is not in the book.
So we're talking about the Beer Miscuous.
Yeah, that's book. That's the guide to the city and the burbs, right? We always joke that Josh Riley hates this book because I don't think Brickstone's in the book, but they are actually closer to downtown than Two Brothers, who's in the book. That's always what was. It is kind of funny though, because
the Two Brothers is an easier drive.
Yeah, man, the good folks at Argus, man, we go way back with Argus, man. I think it was one of the first stories on the website, and then they like to party, man. They like to party. That's what I remember that we were talking. All right, so let me set it up. It was at Columbia Yacht Club, which is a stationary yacht. It does not take off. It's like a museum, right? So it sits at the harbor, and this was the boat that took cars from the mainland of Canada to like Prince Edward Island, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a members only club, right? So you actually got to buzz the door. You're like, hey, what's up? And they like, what?
The yacht door?
Yeah. They're like, what do you want? I'm like, yo, I'm here for the Argus party. They're like, all right. And then you come in, and then boom, you go to the third floor, and there's this party, man. Yeah. So I see my man Nik Luvovich. He's the beer historian at Argus. Argus has a historian because they're in historic Pullman. That's a national. It's a national park.
Okay.
Right. So it's all sorts of like landmarked, right? So this party makes sense for them, They're partying at a national landmark or a Chicago landmark, and their neighborhood is a national landmark.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Dude, so I'm at this thing, and it's like there's a nut brown ale, there's a Holsteiner lager. Well, now it's called Argus Lager. There's a black lager. There's a ginger beer. I'm like, dude, this kind of feels like, when I saw the nut brown ale, this kind of feels like the beginning of like Goose Island, the pub, right? Where like they just come up with like straightforward classic styles. There's Pegasus IPA. There's a Pils, right? They just got these clean, easy, forward styles. So that's the thing I remember the most. Like, man, their logos and stuff are all kind of different. And the beers are also different. But it's completely different from the crew that I remember hanging out with back in 2010, 2011 or whatever.
Okay. Well, this was their 10th anniversary party, right?
I was thinking about this, and in city proper, I don't know how many breweries are 10 years old. I know there's Peace. I know there's Metro because we partied with them in January. They're 10 years old. Half Acre's obviously 10 years old. Yeah. And so is Goose Island. That's 4 breweries.
Well, Moonshine's gone. Peace. Rev
will be 10 in 2020.
The brew pub?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I think it takes a lot to be 10 years old in this town, right? Because like Emmett's is over 10 years old. That's in the burbs. So is Wild Onion.
Rock Bottom.
Oh yeah, and there's Rock Bottom. So there's literally a handful of breweries in Chicago out of like the 67.
What's Finch?
Is Finch still around? Oh yeah, Finch is still around. Is Finch in the book? No, I'm joking. But yeah.
Finch should be around there.
Finch like 2009. That's not that.
Yeah.
11. I say 11. That's a good question though.
Between 9 and 11.
Yeah, I'm saying 11 max. They're probably 2011. Yeah. Oh, but to the point, there's there ain't a lot of breweries that's 10 years old in this town.
Right.
So.
Haymarket should be coming up in there.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Haymarket. Haymarket would for sure be 10 years, right?
It might be 10 years
this year. Yeah, I think Haymarket's 10 years this year.
Whoa.
That was quick. It's been a while, Brad.
Yeah.
I remember the Haymarket launch party, man.
Yeah, I remember being there when it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, there was no awning. They had KBS and CBS on tap. Yeah, they didn't have all their beers going. Yeah, I remember, man, wow. But yeah, so that was the significance of this event. There ain't a lot of breweries in town that are 10 years old. There's maybe like 6.
And we still got to make it to Argus.
Yeah.
You hit him up about this? You ask him about it?
We talked about it, but
Yeah. Share the story.
We're on a boat. We're doing boat stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
we can go out. We can do it on a boat.
I'm down for the hang, man. We can do it on a boat, or we can go there. Have you been there?
No, I've never been.
Oh, we should totally go there. I haven't been in a while.
I don't think anyone has been.
Dude, I went on Saturday and I'm like buzzing the door and I'm not getting anywhere. I got into the members only yacht club with the buzz and I didn't get into Argus on the buzz. I'm like, this Saturday, come on, what's up? But shout out to them. And I remember one time I did this. There's USA Today, right? And then they have USA Today. I did this story for 10 best, which is like an USA Today offshoot. And I was gonna do the 10 best craft beer labels, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm hanging out with Argus, and I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta do this story. And, you know, this is like Pullman at like 1 a.m, walking through the alleys. There's like murals all over the alleys, right? It's the middle of summer. And I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta do this story. I think he's like, what you gonna put number one? I'm like, well, you know, Zombie Dust Label's pretty sick. This is like 2011.
Yeah.
Zombie Dust Label's pretty sick. You know, I think that's gonna go number one. And, you know, he's like, but after talking to this dude for a half hour, it's like when the story came out, Zombie Dust was number 2, and the Pullman Palace Porter was number 1 because he told me about the story and the significance of the porters and the Pullman and all the history. I'm like, man, that's gotta go number 1. And then it's actually like it's a solid label.
Since then, Nick hasn't done any 10 lists. Has not been asked back to do this.
And then they were like, "Fuck you, the fix is in. Don't ever write for us again."
How much did you get paid for that?
Next question.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've never been. I don't think a lot of people know about Pullman, even Pullman the person too.
Right, like George Pullman or the Pullman rail cars, or or this entire like neighborhood that he kind of created to have this this operation where he had this dynasty for like fancy rail cars essentially.
Yeah, it was like him and McCormick.
Yeah,
ran the city.
Yeah, right. We were talking about Open Outcry. Will Turner, who's an avid disc golfer. And I remember going down to Pullman, and it was like an old facility that he used to make rail cars that they had turned into a golf course.
Oh, that's cool.
And I remember hanging out with Will Turner down there one time.
That's
first time I ever shattered my iPhone.
The only like Pullman beer I think of is from Flossmoor, the Pullman Brown, which another brewery that is maybe 10 years, but not Chicago proper. But
right. And then when you think about you talk about the trains, like, well, I'm a commuter, so I'm on trains every day.
Yeah.
And
what's the other brewery in Flossmoor now?
Vice, right?
Oh, Vice, yeah.
Vice is down there. They don't open until like 4 o'clock though.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, what the fuck, man? You're downtown Homewood. Open at noon. Open at noon, just like the deli, so I can go, grab a pint.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, sorry. But yeah, man, that was a good hang, man.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you hit up then on Saturday or Sunday there?
No, but I was at the Gauge yesterday.
Oh, cool.
For a beer dinner, and the beer dinner theme was eating and drinking on the last night of the Titanic.
Oh, okay.
So this was a beer dinner and a book release. Yeah. So that was really good. And then there was some really cool. They tied in a bunch of Chicago facts to the book release, right? About the Titanic. But man, they said that there are a couple things, man. The first martini was called the Marguerite. I didn't know that. But on the Titanic, there were
the first martini was called the Marguerite.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Like a mini margarita.
Yeah, it was like the first dry martini was made with French dry vermouth, and that was called the Marguerite. Oh, but they said there were 10,000 bottles of spirits, 8,000 cigars, and 20,000 bottles of beer on the Titanic. And then this book that came out. Cheers to Veronica Hinkle. She was the author of the book. They talked about the Munich Lager and a lot of Spaten in particular that was on the Titanic. Yeah, so that ship was built in Ireland.
Yeah, I
forget where it sailed from, but there was a cool Chicago tie-in, and there was like some cool facts about beer at that party. So I just wanted to say shout out to them. I had a good time there. Yeah, I haven't been to the.
Nice. Yeah, there's the Titanic Museum in Belfast in Northern Ireland. So when I was up there, I don't know, what was that, like 5 months ago, I didn't go to the Titanic Museum, but I know, they used a lot of people there built it.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So that was cool. So that's a good book if you're looking for like something to read, man. Dining and Drinking on the Last Night of the Titanic by Veronica Hinkle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also made a stop into Off Color yesterday because we forgot to talk about the alligator stuff.
Oh, you went.
You got your Gator Watch shirt.
Yeah, man. Cheers to Block Club Chicago. My shirt came last night. I'm rocking it today. It's the Gator Watch 2019, man. Chance the Snapper, man.
And so we were talking to Urban Renewal, and they were having a Gator beer coming out.
Dude, somebody put. All right, so I've been in the Humboldt Park Lagoon, man. There's kids hanging out there. They even got like a little man-made beach with some water and shit like that. Somebody put a goddamn gator in Humboldt Park Lagoon, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure it got too big for his house. And they were like, or maybe some kid brought it home, and the mom's like, get that gator out of this house.
Oh, yeah.
So, however the gator got there, I don't know. But
yeah, so Rev's coming out with a Gator beer. So's Urban Renewal.
mm-hmm. But you were saying Off Color was their OG Gator.
Man, they were the OG Gator beer, man. Gator Time from Off Color. It's a wild ale. Came out in May, man, almost like a full 2 months ago. So they were definitely ahead of the curve with this Gator sitch.
Okay.
I can't believe there was a Gator. And then Alligator Bob, who was the hero we all needed.
Yeah, he let us down.
All right, the lagoon ain't that big. He took like 6 fucking days to find this gator.
He was milking it.
I'm like, your name's Alligator Bob, man. And then he's like, all I can say is this gator's like really comfortable in the lagoon. We're like, oh, thanks, Alligator Bob. So then they bring in a guy from Florida and he catches a gator like in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Great Chicago Gator watch, man.
But Alligator Bob was from Florida, too.
Was he?
Yeah.
And what I did learn about the Chicago Herpetological Society, who Bob was a volunteer for. Okay. I didn't know what herpetology was, but apparently it's like the study of like snakes and reptiles. And,
okay.
Huh. I'm like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So is alligators in Humboldt Lagoon. One of the largest parks in the city. I think there's like Grant Park, and then there's like Douglas Park and Humboldt Park and Washington Park over where they would have had the Olympics had it come last year.
Okay.
These are like the 4 biggest parks.
Big parks, okay.
Gigantic parks.
Yeah, Humboldt Park is big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I stopped into Off Color. Just on a random bike ride home, had the Critters. Fantastic beer. Yeah, it was kind of just chill over there, like right after work, so not bad.
I love the cocktails at a Off Color too.
I always forget because I forget what beers I've had from them. So then I take a long time trying to remember what I've had, and then I don't even get to the cocktails.
Man, their catalog is deep. Like,
yeah,
it seems like they always got some new beer coming out.
Because then I'm also disappointed that I should have went with someone else. Where like, oh, we could have got a bottle of something or a mini bottle.
That's true because you can get like all their vintage stuff on premise. Yeah, that's an interesting little setup. I mean, I remember Tony McGee from Lagunitas. He had an interview, and they asked him his favorite tap room in the city. And he's like, "Oh, it's Lagunitas." Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, Off Color.
Mousetrap.
It's the Mousetrap.
Nice.
Off Color. Yeah.
Oh. All right. So what is coming up this week? We're almost at the end of July. This is the last weekend of July. Summer's over.
No, stops. You hush.
There's one week of summer, July 4th, and then after that, it's over. You live up to July 4th, and then that's it. So what's coming up? What do we got going on?
Man, Saturday, July 27th at 4 o'clock is the South Loop Beer and Cider Fest. This is the 4th year of that party.
More cider?
More cider. When you have a cider fest, you want cider and beer, unless it's the Cider Summit, because that's at Navy Pier.
Okay.
And then that's like worldwide cider. It's not like the top 30 U.S. cider producers. It's like, Asphalt and all these Italian ciders, and that's rock and roll. That fucking cider fest.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, South Loop Cider and Beer Fest. That's gonna be good. That's South Loop. When the last time you been to South Loop? I haven't been down there since. Yeah, you gotta think, right?
I don't know. I feel like I just saw some photos of people at they were at Mars because we missed the Mars Juicy.
They had a Juicy Fest,
days.
which I think was from like a lot of out of town haze, right?
We weren't invited to.
Not on the list.
Unless I saw people there, and then they went to like Motor Row. So, but yeah, I haven't been.
No. There's a really good pizza joint down there.
Okay. Domino's.
Fucking Little Caesars. On Michigan Avenue. No. Wabash. On Wabash. God damn, it's escaping me. It's not Vito and Nick's. It's another one. Their sauce is really good. They say they use the carrots, and they steep the carrots in the marinara to get. That's how you get the sweetness.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like
it's good for you.
Polish and Polish and Italian, like a Polish and Italian couple.
Okay.
Man, it's so good too. And they got a nice beer garden.
Oh, I have been.
What's the name of this joint, man? That place is good, man.
Like almost next door to like is it or it was a Mariano's now, right?
Yeah.
Like right next to the grocery store there. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Anyway, there's pizza. There's pizza in the South Loop. For anyone that didn't know, there's pizza in the South Loop, and it's good. So this is a Kurt Foreman a party. He does Border Wars. He does Racine Beer Fest. He's got
the Racine. Oh, you said Racine.
Racine. He's got
Flo and Santos.
Flo and Santos.
All right,
yeah.
we're done. Sorry.
That's the good pizza place in the South Loop. He also has a event in Valparaiso. So yeah.
Yeah. So he's a swell guy. That Kurt Foreman.
Yeah, he's got those boats too. They did.
Oh yeah, why didn't he do the boat thing this year?
No boats.
Did we miss it?
We weren't invited.
Oh my god! Because last year there was the sweet Belgian tour where you got the glass. That was last year.
I think he did send us a message or posted on our video that Milwaukee is not a suburb of Chicago.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you, Kurt Foreman. Chicago's nicest suburb, man.
He was not fond of that.
I disagree, good sir. All right, so that's this weekend. Kurt's South Loop Beer and Cider Fest and his Valpo Margarita Fest, $35 for both.
Nice.
On Sunday, the good folks at Maplewood Brewery and Distillery are turning their joint into a pancake social, Brad. So this will be from 11 to 3. So they have a barrel-aged syrup releasing that day.
Okay.
So the Odie Otter whiskey, those barrels were used to make a barrel-aged syrup.
Is this Saturday? This is Saturday.
This is
Sunday?
This is Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
It's Sunday morning. Yeah, there's going to be blueberry maple freezies. There's going to be Brewer's Old Fashions with maple syrup. And then the first 50 guests who show up and make a purchase will get a maple syrup carafe.
What is that?
You know, the thing you pour the syrup out of, man.
Do a lot of people often put their syrup in a craft?
I mean, I don't know if I got one that says Maplewood on it, I'm gonna use that. But no, I have something to pour syrup out of? No, like right now, like if we throw some whiskey in some syrup and then heat it for a little bit, we're just gonna get like a little taster glass from a fest and put it in that.
Okay.
Like I don't have like a proper serving vessel for barrel aged syrup.
I don't know. I'm not eating pancakes
You're like,
very
you're just
often,
not.
so I don't need like a craft. All right.
So that's Sunday too.
It's still cool. I might check this out. They're right by the theater too, so you could just grab some pancakes and then hop into a movie.
Yeah, they are. Owen and Engine's right there. Mm-hmm. Within a mile roughly, you got
scooter there from my place.
You can scooter there from your place?
Yeah.
Metropolitan and their killer riverfront tap room is right there.
That's true.
Rev Kedzie, Maple Room, and Metro are all within like 1.3.
Okay.
That's a pretty good hang. Yeah.
And Hopewell, kind of could add that into that little circle too.
You go south a little bit, you hit Hopewell. That's very true.
All right. Any other events happening?
That is it for events, Brad.
All right. Then in the news, we were just talking about Sketchbook.
Yeah, man. This is up in Evanston. So Sketchbook has a space. They have an award-winning tap room. They won an award for their design. The problem is the tap room only holds 75 people.
Yeah. So
they are they're having a Kickstarter to expand. So they have the space already next door, right? That'll triple their footprint. and your contribution will allow them to get things rolling faster. So it's all about like sidewalk seating, having artists come in and do design work, or like murals and that kind of thing, but then also having artists perform as well.
Yeah, I think the Kickstarter seemed like just cool stuff that they want to have.
Right. It sounds like we're go for the space, but we kind of want to make it fun.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, do they have like all the funding? Is this just extra? Are they still looking for investors? But I think we're going to go up there. Check out the space.
Yeah, I haven't been to Sketchbook since they changed their logo.
Okay. To the B.
We call it
the B, the Beetle.
We call it something else, but it's the Beetle.
Okay. Yeah, so I believe it got funded, but there's probably still some slots or some things open on their Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, so chairs and stools, a music fund, and then a green wall where there's basically an installation of plants to create oxygen and absorb sound. Mm-hmm. So that's some of the focus, and then they'll take care of you when you if you donate.
I'm trying to think, is the Whiskey Hill space bigger or smaller
than the current sketchbook? Because the current sketchbook is what, like 50, 75
this
people?
This is 75, right?
Yeah.
I think Whiskey Hill is smaller. 50 people in that place. Because, the bar, I think Sketchbook's a little bigger than Whiskey Hill.
And for those keeping score at home, no whiskey and no hills at Whiskey Hill. I'm going to throw my phone thinking about this shit.
You gotta go check it out. You can't.
We would just like some answers. We just like more understanding. That's all.
Why the name?
Yeah, that's
Maybe
all.
they're from the hills of Whiskey Land.
It's like a renewal. They were like, yeah, we're from Boston, and now we know the Chicago River's cool, so we were gonna call the place Wicked River, right? So maybe it's something like that.
Yeah.
Just tell us.
Well, maybe it's there, and I just didn't read. They're like, read the menu, dude. All right, we should get out of here. These crispy boys are getting us riled up.
Yeah, man.
Nick, where can people find you? Get in touch when we're not here.
Right on, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD. Chicago Beer Pass is on Twitter at Chicago Beer Pass. Instagram, posting lots of photos, lots of, Westmont breweries, rainbow cones, all kinds of stuff.
I can't believe Westmont's got 2 breweries, man. That's cool, though. That's cool.
Well, there's another one, not even that far. Moore's really not that far.
Moore's not that far, and
Noon Whistle's not that far.
Noon Whistle's right there too.
There was another one.
And then you're talking about Alter. Alter's in Downers Grove. That ain't far from Westmont.
Yeah.
Alter, and
Alter.
there's a Emmons in Downers Grove too.
Yeah, I think there's another brewery over there too.
Man,
but check the book.
They got it figured out. Yeah.
ChicagoBeerPass.com. All the episodes are posted there. Links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version as well. Be sure to check out YouTube because we're posting beer reviews there. And we'll be back with another episode next week. Take care.
Cheers.